all in all, it has cost me around 65,000 euros. I love wearing big rings on my pinky fingers. I feel like it's so original. How do I start a business if I have no money to invest? Your time is valuable, and your time is money also. In Ukrainian, we have a saying, the slower you go, the further you'll get. Do you want to open or scale your business into Europe but are afraid that it's going to be too difficult or expensive? My name is Martina and I've been running a successful business in Europe for the past 10 years. Well, I've also had unsuccessful businesses, but that's the point of this video. I will tell you my precious experience and easy steps of how to open and scale a business in Europe. So like, subscribe and hit the bell button and pay attention to what I'm saying. Today is the 1st of December 2022. It's super hot and I can hear seagulls because we're standing in front of the biggest mall in south of France, where only last week we opened our first shop in France. It only took me 41 days, and right now I'm going to explain to you the easy steps it took. How much it cost me to build a stand, how much is rent, how did I register the company, how I hired employees, and all the details about how to open a brand new company. Come with me. So all in all, it has cost me around 65,000 euros, and the return on your investment at such high traffic locations are only around 3 to 6 months. Now I will walk you through 7 easy steps it took me to open a business like this one in just 41 days. Step number 1. Make a checklist for yourself which is divided into different sections: registration, legal, financial, HR, marketing. That way you can constantly monitor what needs to be done and what has been done already. And also you will not get too overwhelmed and confused between different kind of aspects of your business. Step number 2, start registering your company and your name. It's actually not that expensive. It has only cost me 1,300 euros through a fiduciary company. A fiduciary company is somebody who is going to take care of all your legal aspects of the company, hire people, register your company with the authorities, register your employees, etc. A lot of people, when they're trying to open their company, are clueless about the prices. So they start hiring consultants who take advantage of the situation and start quoting very high prices to open a bank account or to open a registered company. I have a friend who told me that she was quoted 10,000 euros just to open a company and a bank account. Actually, in France, by hiring a fiduciary company even, it has only cost me 1,300 euros and it is completely free to open a bank account. However, I strongly discourage you from trying to register your company yourself without using a fiduciary company, because there are so many laws and regulations in every country and you don't want to waste your time doing that. Your time is valuable and your time is money also. So think how much it actually costs you to spend a week trying to read through all the laws instead of hiring somebody to do it. I calculated that my time costs more than that, and I prefer to hire a professional and spend my time doing what I know how to do, which is running a business, not going through all the kind of legal details and reading all the laws. Today I decided to save you a lot of money and time on consultants, so please like my video if you find this information useful. Step number 3, go to a bank. While your company is registering, you need to go to a bank and open a temporary account where you will transfer the capital of your company. In France, your company capital can start from 5 euros. 5 euros, that's nothing. In Switzerland, the minimum is 20,000 francs. So now I put down 5,000 euros and I own 5,000 shares of my own company, each valued at 1 euro. While your bank account is being registered, you can also request to get your card payment machines. In France, it's super easy because the bank actually does it for you. You don't need to contact any other company and you can rent it from them. these machines cost around 1,500 euros, 2,000 euros, but you can also lease it and pay 45 euros a month, which is what I did. Next step is the location, and it is actually split into two parts. Part number one is your contract with the mall. Make sure that you read it meticulously, slowly, and many times to make sure there are no surprises later. Try to negotiate a premium location. For me, a high traffic zone is very important. That's why it took me a couple of times to come to the mall, to negotiate with the direction of the mall to make sure that we have a high traffic location. While you're signing your rental contract, you also need to be looking for an architect. From my experience, find a company that does everything. It should be the same company who develops the project, the same company that builds it, and the same company that installs it. One time when we were opening a shop in Zurich, I decided to save some costs and get a Ukrainian company to make the project design, a different Ukrainian company to build the stand, and then a Swiss company to install it. It was a complete nightmare because when they're starting to build the project, the company is blaming the designers that they designed a stand which is not feasible. Then when the Swiss company was installing the stand, they started building the construction company saying that they didn't construct it correctly. And I was in the middle of this whole thing trying to make it work. I didn't sleep for 2 days because I was so stressed. So judging by that experience, when I had to build a stand in France, I found a company that does everything from 0 to 100. And all I had to do was to validate the designs, validate the budget, and come one morning and see this beautiful stand already installed. And my other biggest achievement, except the location, is having these flowers on the roof because the fire department came and said that it is a fire hazard and we cannot have these flowers. But I actually had to hand pick each flower, and our architects spent 2 hours just putting every little flower in its place. So I started crying because no matter if I'm a businesswoman, I'm still a woman. So I was there, oh, but please, I really like these flowers. I cannot work without the flowers. And the guy was like, okay, like, just go, fine. So yes, now I have my flowers, and I feel like they really attract attention, and they're purple. In general, my key to success is crying, because whenever I don't take no for an answer, I try to negotiate, but in the end, if the person doesn't want to negotiate with me, I start crying. Usually it works. This is my favorite ring. It was the first ring that Natkina ever made with imitations of diamonds. Well, this is an emerald version. It's called Carolina after a friend of mine, and in the beginning I would name all our rings after my friends. So there is a Daria ring, a Carolina ring, a Yesenia ring after the daughter of my best friend. But now, because we have so many models, we ran out of names. Actually, there is not a single piece which is called Martina. I mean, I love them all, so how could I choose a favorite one to name it after myself? I love wearing big rings on my pinky fingers. I feel like it's so original, and it's such a statement, like, look at me with my huge rock on my pinky finger. I own this place. I absolutely love yellow stones. And Natkina is the brand which created the best yellow diamond imitation in the world. So our yellow diamonds are exactly like a real fancy yellow diamond would be. And I'm so proud. This leads us to our next point, which is market study. Before opening any location, you need to understand, do your customers come to that location? If they do, is there anybody else who's offering a similar product to yours? So before signing my contract with the department store, I spent a couple of days here walking around, analyzing what kind of brands are already present, what kind of pricing do they have, and if there's anybody who is offering a similar product to ours. And there wasn't, so that was already a good sign. But at the same time, I also had to understand, is there nobody who is offering this product because there is no demand for it? Or is it just because it's a niche in a market which is not taken yet? So I spent another 2 days just in the store looking at how people are dressed. Are they wearing clothes and the accessories which our kind of clients usually wear. Do they shop a lot or do they just buy little things and go away? And also, how are they shopping? Where is the flow of traffic? So as you can see, I hope you can see, there is a lot of traffic in my location. Because I had to identify it, we are right in front of Apple Store, in front of Zara, and I had to negotiate to get this location. I was offered different kind of locations for less rent, but I realized that even if I pay less rent, this location will not be profitable because there's simply not enough people, and my kind of people don't go there. So I was offered a different location which cost me around 30% less, so 4,000 francs, euros, but I realized that the money I would save would not compensate for the lack of traffic I would have. Next step. Well, it's not really a step, it's just a general advice in life. Befriend your partners. Let it be easy to work with them. Get to know people personally. It's no secret that Europeans, especially French, like to eat. So whenever you're signing a contract with someone or negotiating a deal, invite them for lunch or dinner. Get to know where they're from, do they have a family, what are their hobbies, interests, etc. It will always help you in managing business as well. For example, when I was signing a contract with this mall, I befriended the manager, and in the end, he was the one who recommended me the architects, which made my life so much easier. Or he's also the one who, in the end of the day, gave me the best location in the mall. It's not all business. We're all human beings, and we must enjoy our work, our life. And when you do it with friends, it's much easier than when you're doing it just with a business contact. I spoke about it in another video that you should never negotiate anything before lunch, because when people are hungry, they're angry and they're much more strict and more assertive. But if you're negotiating something after lunch, when people ate and they're busy digesting and they're happy, you can get your point through much easier. Also, know your audience. For example, I heard that Americans like to discuss business only over golf, and Eastern Europeans, for example, don't go for lunches. They need to invite to the office and impress their partners with their fancy offices. In Middle East, I'm sure there are also their own traditions. So also adapt to the culture that you're dealing with. Do your own job. Don't try to do somebody else's job. For example, my job is building businesses, creating jewelry, making women happy. My job is not to read the laws and regulations and be an expert in that. So I pay 50 euros a month per employee to the fiduciary. Now I have 3 employees, so that's 150 euros a month. But they do everything. They write the employment contracts. They organize insurances for these employees. They also announce them to the right authorities. All I have to do is train them, which is also extremely important. So once you found your team, once you have registered them through a fiduciary, you need to make sure that they're trained and that they're happy. You can build the most gorgeous stands. You can create the most beautiful jewelry or do any kind of marketing and invest whatever amounts of money you want into your advertisement. When the client comes to your store, and if your employee is not trained or not happy with his position or his salary, he will not do the most important job, which for us is to offer the most beautiful jewelry and sell it. So when I had to hire the team, I decided that I will hire first the manager of the store, and you can do it through websites like Indeed.com or the local website in your country. And then I let the manager do the first round of interviews for the sales team that she likes. After she has done her first round of interviews, I validate them by having a short discussion. Try to delegate as much as possible. You're hiring people for a reason, and don't try to micromanage. For me, that's the worst. If you want to scale your business, learn how to delegate, and delegate the tasks that you hired people for. You're probably watching this video and thinking, yes, it's very easy to open a business when you have a starting capital, if you have some money to invest. But how do I start a business if I have no money to invest? I also didn't have a starting capital back in the day. And to do a business without a starting capital is also possible. Back in the day, we would go into department stores, through a department store where you could pay rent as a percentage of your sales. So we didn't actually have a fixed rent to pay. It would be 30% of our sales, and in the end of every week, let's say if we made $3,000, 3,000 euros, our rent would be 30% of our sales. You can also start with a minimal stock. Order samples, order 5 pieces per model. You don't need to have an enormous stock in order to start. That way it allows you to test the market. Make a website. It's so easy to make websites right now through platforms like Shopify, which offer you templates. All you need is to have some merchandise in stock, take pictures, upload them, and spend some time analyzing how it works. Some people start their businesses without even having a website. They create an Instagram page, they upload their products there, they create their storytelling, they get some bloggers to advertise or do reviews of their products, and that's how you start. Don't be afraid to start small. Right now, of course, I was showing you how to create a new pop-up corner because it's my 5th one, and it's been 4 years since I'm doing only corners in department stores. But 4 years ago, I started with a showcase which was the size of this table. It was not even 2 meters. We had not even 200 products, but there was demand for it, and that's the most important. Go step by step. In Ukrainian, we have a saying, the slower you go, the further you'll get. There's nothing wrong with starting small and testing out and seeing where the opportunities are. If you enjoyed watching this video and your dream is to own your own business, I would also recommend to watch our video with my sister about 10 steps to running a successful business. Thanks so much for your time. Please like, subscribe, and see you in this video.